Good evening, it's Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom. I am a hypnotherapist, dream sculptor, NLP practitioner, timeline coach, and published author. And with a vocabulary of expand, energize, enterprise, appreciate, and experience. But tonight I want to talk about releasing can't and won't from your life. As I opened up to understand, can't is an apathetic way to live. Won't is an arrogance inside us that we won't do it for anybody, and we really don't want to help ourselves. And it's about releasing all the not words from your life. Because not words are kind of a slippery slope to stay in of a hidden excuses that we use in life. And one thing, your subconscious and inner self and all the self-talk, when you read don't, won't, can't, all the not words, well, your subconscious mind never hears what the not word. Like, don't forget the keys. You might as well forget the keys, because we open up to a new way of life and to feel the way life is supposed to be. But life is to be experienced. But when you hear somebody say we can't do it, or can't do this and they can't do that, well, it's really they don't want, because can't is an apathetic word. Because it's easier to say can't do it than to see if you can do it or understand how to do it. But internally, it's an arrogance saying I won't do it because I don't want to help. I'm afraid to help. And really let go of the not words, don't do this, don't do that. Well, it's really using words disengage, discharge, disavow. Use a word that has energy and a stimulation of letting go. Detach the thatch. Detach from it and use the word that we discharge it from our life, or we disengage it from our life. We've been so taught to use not words, and not words are a silent dream stealers, because they really do. They're just a frivolous word. They're conscious mind words and do nothing else for us. They never expand you. They actually control you. And that is what I really am starting to understand. When I say I can't do this, it means I don't want to do it, or I won't do it, because it may be out of my comfort zone. It may be anywhere, but it's really about disinvolving myself from the excuses of my life. And that is something I really, really opened up to. I want to dissolve the excuses that I've used all my life. Well, if I'd have done this, or they'd have done that, or somebody could have done this for me. That is where I was really in the non of my life. I was bonded to yesterday and afraid of today. We're never afraid of tomorrow. We're never afraid of yesterday. We're afraid of today, because everything is occurring right now. And we have to participate and facilitate in that right now. And as I walked through this and I started opening up to the can't and won't and the not words, I really understand they were a way for me to sound tough, yet be afraid of life. When I sound tough, I'm afraid of life. When I'm a listener, I expand of life. And that is something that's really due. So what feels better for you? I discharge this from my life. I disengage from this. And I open up to this, because this is where the path of prosperity lies, awakens me. It's about using words that don't keep us stifled and baffled with BS within ourselves. And how many times do you say, I can't do that, I won't do that? And it's actually just to feel egotistically tough and arrogantly pompous in life. I'm good, I've done it, still do it. One thing about personal expansion, it's realizing how you're doing it, when you're doing it, and then expand out of it right in the moment. A lot of us, I was always caught up. I won't do that. I'm going to show them. Well, only thing I showed them was my arrogance. And that is a big thing to let go of, is the arrogance. And once you expand out of the arrogance of won't, can't, not, tough, being tough, looking tough to other people, you expand of the inner genius and the grandeur of your heart and soul. But really, not words are slippery slopes of being on a rope of rancor, because it's really a fear word, and they are fear, and they're scared to see the now. So when you release the can't, the won't, the not, all the not words out of your life, you really open up to a new wave of wisdom, because you become willing and open to disengaging from the English language we was taught in school. We was actually taught a very limiting language in school. We was taught to be controlled through our words. So when you can open up to expand out of the doubting words we use and open up to be more daring and free, you feel the robust energy enterprising your wise to walk internally, seeing every day as a playground of prosperity, percipience, and profundity. But it's really having the gut gall to go through life. And that's something we've lacked in this country right now. We're a bunch of tough talkers, but everybody never follows somebody that speaks and then walks their talk. Everybody likes to talk tough and then step back and won't and can't. And, well, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that, we can't do this, we won't do this. And then we ended up in the dissidence of, basically the dissidence of dipshit. That's basically what it is as I move forward. And as I open up more to this, I'm really starting to understand some things I've done in my life, and I still do in my life. And I'm the one holding myself back without me having a clue I'm doing it. That's the biggest thing about everything in life. It's about being willing to admit that I'm responsible and accountable for everything in my life. But it's really about disengaging from what I taught myself, disengaging from the books that we used in the English language. The only book that is still pretty much an absolute is arithmetic and mathematics, because the more I open up to understand the English language that I taught myself, we've actually taught ourselves to be second through the English language. You and me, Kathy, Patrick, and I, we always put ourselves third or second. So I've expanded out of that and say me and the world, or me and all people. Putting me first is a subconscious stimulation to expand myself. But when I say I won't do this, I can't do that, or you can't do this, or somebody won't do this or can't, I'm actually using the excuses, the excuse words to stay the same and in my comfort zone. All not words are comfort zone words. Keep us in our cozy zone and snoring in yesterday. Thinking of tomorrow, but really never experiencing today. That's the words the language, everything you want to use, because willpower, wisdom, and words are my bridges to everywhere that I dare to travel. And that is the thing. We're trend-setting travelers to expand the world, but we've been taught to stay inside the boundaries of whatever we teach ourselves. And we are our own teachers. So how did you use teacher? How do you use can't, won't, not words, thinking you're really saying something like, don't go over there, but yet nothing ever occurs? But how would you say, I disengage from going over there because there's despair, but I desire to go over here because there's wisdom, innovation, talent, and prosperity for me. So whatever you're willing to disengage from, you're willing to engage the inner sage to see the adventurous grandeur within yourself, enjoying every day. Something else I've really picked up on is never write with the word you. Write with me, myself, and I. Free my inner self to free the world, because there's you, won't, can't, forgiveness, heal. All them words are really good words, but they're yesterday words. Me, myself, and I are in the now, naturally opening winsome roads of riches. But as I get more into the can't and won't, how many times have you give your boss or somebody a good idea, but it's outside of their fear zone or comfort zone? Because the comfort zone is just the fear zone. And that's the way it is there. So when you open up to understand, the can't and won't are the comfort zones of fear, because you don't have to do anything. You're never engaged in anything. When you start expanding, energizing, enterprising, you're engaging in new frontiers of foresight, riches, omnificence, but you're becoming the power of your life rather than the cowering down in your life. Because can't, won't, not, they really are cowering down words, and we don't even realize. We've never even taught or realized it, because we taught ourselves to hide in the comfort zone, thinking we've done going forward. How many times have you read something that sounded good, but yet internally it never did anything for you, never expanded you, excited you, or anything? And that is what can't, won't, and all not words do. They sound good consciously, but the subconscious is sleeping, and the inner self is sleeping, because it realizes that it gets to stay in the same mundane place it always been. When you open up the wisdom of Engage of the inner sage, you see astute, galvanizing energies flow through your veins of fame, feeling awesome, majestically expanding within yourself. See, all the physical world is showing you your own ineptness, your abilities, your greatness, all of it, all at once. But we have been taught never to see our own greatness, because that is beyond the fear zone and where we always lived and always stayed in life. But as I lionize my internal freedoms, I'm starting to understand the more inspirational words and inspirational feelings with enterprising emotions, I expand the grandeur of me. But letting go of can't and won't, because they're the most, I just understand this now. Can't is apathetic. Can't means I just don't want to do it, because can't don't exist. Because if you watch a leader, a real good leader, they never say can't or won't. They say yes or no. And yes is a blessing. No is new opportunity. And that is what releasing won't and can't, because won't and can't, they're depressing, and they're pressing you down into what other people want you to do, or what other people want you to think. That is something else. And some people use it for control. And that is one thing about can't, won't. And they want to really show their superiority and their arrogance, and they feel they're better than you. But really, all they are is afraid of life. Because when you are unwilling to open up and expand other people's life, you're unwilling to expand my life. I'll use myself, because I really understand wisdom, willpower, words, and other people's wisdom expand me through life. And how are we afraid to see the new wisdom to expand us out of the ancient history we're living right now? Because we are living ancient history. Because what is different today than it was back at the other time? What's different now than was any other time in life? That is a reason can't and won't. We can't move out of history because we won't. And it's easier to stay in history than live in the autobiography of now. And I stopped telling my story because a story is a fable. You want to express, write, and experience your autobiography of the now to show people the new wisdom within you, because it's a wisdom of people that are going to expand the world out of the treachery track we're on right now, because we're too caught up in college education and the books and listening to the bankers of the world silently leading us to despair. It's people on this line, Patrick, Kathy, Debbie, Amy, and Val, the leaders of the world. We just have never we've never taught ourselves to be the leaders of our life. We've always been taught to go over here because we're going to ruffle somebody's feathers. Well, the feathers that are getting ruffled right now are the people of the world. You and me and the world. Me and you, however you want to say it, but it's the people that got to open their eyes to the inner wise. Stop saying won't, can't, because won't and can't are the politicians' way of controlling us. It's the way the tyranny of the world controls us, is through can't and won't and not words. And NLP uses a lot of not words, but when you're to break people's patterns. But when you open up to let go of using not words and them patterns and start using inspirational words, like I expand out of this, here's the simplest way when everything happens. What am I scared of? How am I afraid to expand beyond this? Ask them questions that make you unstable and unsettling in the stomach. There's only one not word I use. And when something's happening and that I don't understand, I just say I don't know. It relaxes everything within you. Because I don't know, because it's subconsciously I hear I know. But where's the wisdom to move forward beyond this point of my life? All the challenge is doing, challenge, chaos, and tragedy, and all unsavory things actually happen to show you the roadblocks that are right in front of you. Instead of going into the despair of it, ask, how do I appreciate this to expand my life beyond where I'm at today? Because today is all we have. The past is a memory of the now. The future is an image of tomorrow, is the image of now, in the now. That is where we really open up. But when you start opening up to hear, I can't do this, I won't do this. And when somebody says I can't do that, or you ask somebody to do something and they say they can't do it, that's their apathy speaking. And then internally, their arrogance is telling them I won't, because I want to see the person asking suffer. They're really suffrage words, but we do it inner suffrage. Inner self-suffrage is where it's at. It's actually self-sabotaging, because it's a fear zone and being scared to go beyond that. And sometimes people ask you it'll move their life forward. People have a hidden agenda, being afraid to see other people succeed or be successful or have a good life. And subconsciously, I had that up until the last 2 years. Now I really listen to see where I can interject inspirational innovation into people's lives rather than think I own them. Because in the world today, as much as we've advanced, we still have the enslaving codes within us. Either we want to control people or people are controlling us. And one other thing people are afraid of, people always want to really deep down want to be told what to do and how to do it. Or they want to tell somebody how to do it or tell somebody. We really have ancient enslaved codes within us that control us, and until we realize it and move our life forward, that's where life will move forward. And I wrote a chapter on releasing the enslaving codes within us. And I'm going to thank everybody for being online. Kobe, Everton, Val, Amy, Debbie, Kathy, Patrick, thank you for being here. And Mary. And I'm going to say good night, and everybody have a good weekend. I am Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom. I am a hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, but I'm an inspirer and expander of life for everybody to enjoy their journey, their voyage of visionary veracity, to enjoy, to relish who they are internally. And I'm going to say goodnight and thank you all for being here.